Hello everyone, welcome to Classic Reddit, where real humans read real content. This post on askreddit is by Asians Love White, and it is, what is the story behind your username? Big Johnson said, someone already had Big Johnson, so I picked Big Johnson. A reply to that, if you really wanted to seem like a Big Johnson, you should have used Dwayne Johnson and moved on. I examine eyes equals I examine eyes. I am an optometrist. I use this sequence of letters on a personalized license plate in the pre-internet days. I was restricted to 7 characters, and this is what I came up with. When I first signed out for my AOL account back in the mid-1990s, this is what I used. I once saw a vanity plate at the optometrist with IHLP you to see. I hope you to see, which I think about maybe once a month. This username is Orange Mirror Juice, and their explanation is, I asked 2 people in the room to say anything random. One said magic mirror, the other said orange juice. Orange Mirror Juice, that's funny. I had a friend who did his name as Doink Desolation, so I did my name as Doink Damnation. The next friend I followed in line and did Doink Destruction. Then to top it off, the last friend did Doink Defecation. There were a few others that I forgot that they did. I think someone did Doink Defiance, but it doesn't follow the pattern we had been following because it doesn't end in shun. We had like 7 of these usernames for like 4 months. Then everybody but me changed their usernames because I actually liked mine, so I made my Reddit account with this name, and now everybody calls me Doink. This username is Poorly Drawn Beagle. It was the thing I happened to be looking at when I set up the account. Mr. Smoldick, it's based on some insecurities I have. Don't worry, it will grow during puberty, they said. It would do wonders, they said. Violent Juniper. My cat's name is Juniper, and she is incredibly violent. Cats are really violent. Wow. This username is Demon Shadow's mom. Demon Shadow the Gatekeeper was the best damn cat ever. He was such an ornery as a kitten. I wanted to name him Demon Spawn, but I had very Catholic grandparents, so we called him Demon Shadow and generally called him Shadow or Shady Butt. Then, Shady Butt, that's great. Then I moved from home and took him with me. He was 22 pounds of solid muscle and very protective. I've never heard someone describe a cat as solid muscle. 22 pounds is heavy for a cat, though. He would station himself in a doorway, or preferably just to impose himself between me and whoever it was he didn't like. He also protected my roommate and her toddler son just like that. That's when we added the Gatekeeper to his name. He was leash trained, would come running home if I whistled, and liked riding in cars. We would go to the park and he would run up to dogs. They'd hide behind their owner. His favorite thing to do was have people he didn't know pet him. He also liked to lick the bottom of shoes and didn't care if you were still wearing of them. So, again, Schwann's guy, we are so sorry about that. But he died of stomach cancer at age 11. Don't get me wrong, all of my cats are awesome and pretty unique, but that cat was just special. This username is DL0LOL0LB. I always regretted my usernames on stuff. I would think something was cool and make my username after it, and then later lose interest, but not want to delete my account, so I was stuck with the username I didn't like. So, when I signed up for Reddit, I decided to go with a username that didn't mean anything. And here I am, 6 years later, and I don't regret my username, even though it doesn't mean anything. Wait, what do you mean? You have a bunch of acronyms in your username. It's DL, download, 0, LOL, lol, 0, LB, pound. It literally follows a pattern. You have an acronym, a 0, an acronym, a 0, an acronym. It's symmetrical. This username is RZX0. Exact same for me. I just looked for short strings of characters that sounded reasonably cool until I found one that was available. I like how people can think random letters and numbers sound cool. Like, oh yeah, that 5-character string sounds great. RX662. Ooh man, what a sexy name. This one is Super Sam. My name is Sam, and when I was like 10, I was like, what can I do with my name? And this is what I came up with. This username is Emu on the Loose. Practically every small town newspaper runs this story at least once a month. Usually it takes the fire department or the police to catch the emu. Wow, do small towns really have emus that much? This one is Wonly Lolf. I love wolves and I'm kind of lonely, but I consider myself not so serious. I'm Elliot. My username is As Told by Elliot. I started telling stories on r/no sleep and soon discovered the rest of Reddit. This username is Saftant? I'm the Weekend Stan. Weekend in Hindi means Saftant. Saptant. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm really sorry. Saptahan. Sapta equals week and ant equals end. Saptan. I am an advanced hybrid of cybernetics and bioengineering. Billions of dollars were spent on the technology that led to my creation, a horse from Western world. My main purpose is background decoration. What? This username is Coradomad112464. My name is my dad's PS3 account, which became mine when the PS4 came out. The numbers are random. Dover Oxide. I picked a book at random. It was published by Dover, and I picked a random word out of that book, and it was oxide. That's cool. Okay, I'm holding this random cup, and it says Cam Intel. Intel Cam. Cam Intel. This person's username is Animals Are Friends, and they say animal suffering is sad. Unless it's a Canada goose. Those evil pricks should always suffer for being such assholes. Louis the Fly says someone called me this as an insult once, and I embraced it. That's awesome. This person's username is Do Not Argue With Me. And they say, I hate it when people insist on arguing with me when I don't ask them for their damn input. Valid. Beluga. Every name was taken thanks to alts, so I just put lots of U's into an animal, which I thought wasn't that popular. You don't think beluga whales are popular? Beluga whales are some of the most popular whales that exist, yo. Come on. This username is Mouse Hates Numbers. Everybody calls me Mouse in my real life, and maths frustrates me like nothing else. I'm a person of words, not numbers. You could just spell your numbers. Ha 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 ha. You know, sometimes that actually works. Like something about the brain. Say that you're teaching a child how to learn or how to do math, right? And they can read or write decently. Sometimes if they do multiplication, like 4 times 4, 4 times 8 or something, they'll struggle. But if you have them write FOUR times EIGHT, sometimes that actually triggers something in them and they understand it and can do it, even though they didn't understand the numbers and all you did was spell it. Isn't that crazy? That happened to me when I was a kid, except it wasn't that exactly. It was when I was studying mathematics and I was learning how to multiply decimals, and I just couldn't understand it. Like, I understood how to add decimals. Actually, no, I didn't even understand how to add decimals. I was just blown. I didn't get it. But for some reason, if you put a money sign in front of the decimal, I could do it. Even though I couldn't do it if the money sign wasn't there. For some reason, just putting the money sign made my brain understand. Oh, it's like pennies. Okay, I get it. And then it would work. So my teacher tricked me, basically. He was like, all right, I'm going to write this test. And then whenever you start it, you're just going to write the money thing in front of the problem and change it. And don't worry, I'm not going to mark you wrong. That's just how you're going to do it. And I was like, okay. And that's how I learned it. Pretty crazy, huh? This username is Elfing Fyodor. My username is usually something along the lines of Pixie Queen Faye or something like that. However, when I used it on Pokemon Showdown, I would get sexually harassed, so I came up with a masculine alternative, Elf King Fyodor. So I still use it sometimes. It's a cool username. This username is Aldakoopa. It was back around 2003, 2004. I was around 13 or 14 and spent a lot of time in the Adult Swim message boards, in the incoherent babbling section. They censored curse words with bleep and sometimes made a thread about coming up with alternative words to use for cursing. I just threw Aldakoopa together and thought it sounded cool, so I started using it as a screen name for everything. Terrible curse word alternative though. Bonus fact, the only other person to post in that thread, the inner wolf, suggested the word squeak was a much better word, but being the little brat I was, I defended my made-up word against her squeak. I never really talked with her much back then, but years later ended up reconnecting with her over Yahoo Instant Messenger. One thing led to another, we started a long-distance relationship, and we've been together 10 years total now, married for the past 2, going on 3. Holy shit! That's so cool! Who could have thought meeting love in the incoherent babbling section? Actually, now that I think about it, it sounds like a more likely place to find love. Next username is WolfGamer333. Used to be my Minecraft username, and I am unable to change it. Save me. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time and attention. If you want to make your own YouTube content, but you are too intimidated by editing video, please reach out to us. We are making software that helps you browse the internet and read and narrate and respond to content and make your own videos that way. If you're struggling to run your own YouTube channel and spend 10 hours editing 30 minutes of video, don't worry about it. There's other ways you can run YouTube channels, and believe it or not, you could publish 30 minutes of video in 35 or 40 minutes of time spent. You don't need to spend hours and hours and hours and hours editing. And what you should do is you should make a lot of content for like a year or two, make as much content about as many things as possible. Don't worry about being regular. Don't worry about staying on track, staying on topic. And then after that, after you've just blown yourself up and tried a whole bunch of different content, that is when you should start targeting content, trying to figure out how do I make one really good video about this and edit it and spend my time into it. But here's the point. You're editing a video and putting your time into it because you made all of these videos and you see what there's demand for, so you know it's worth it. Instead of just starting a YouTube channel from the beginning, putting hours and hours and hours into editing a video that nobody's gonna watch. Who wants to do that? That's why you should contact us, talk to us, get started making some YouTube content, browsing the internet, and reading. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.